Morning everyone. Myself Dr. Usha Vyas, Associate Professor of English. Today I am taking first year class and my topic is Pride and Prejudice. The theme of love and marriage in Pride and Prejudice. The theme of love and marriage happens to be one of the major themes in Pride and Prejudice. Through five marriages, four new ones, and a fifth old one, Jane Austen tries to define good reasons for marriage and bad reasons. Charlotte Lucas and Mr. Collins, Lydia and Wickham, Jane and Bingley, and Elizabeth and Darcy are the four newlyweds. The old marriage to be discussed is that of Mrs. and Mr. Bennet. Mrs. and Mr. Bennet. Mrs. and Mr. Bennet are poles apart in their natural dispositions. Mr. Bennet is sharp and witty, Mrs. Bennet is vulgar and indiscreet. Together they constitute a very ill matched couple. It is clear that Mr. Bennet married for beauty. Later, little did he realize that once the initial fascination of beauty subsided, Mrs. Bennet, on account of her intellectual bankruptcy and narrowness of vision, would not make him an ideal wife. His disillusionment came a bit too soon. He tried to drown his disappointment in his two principal enjoyments, nature and books. The author makes a very pertinent remark here. To his wife he was very little otherwise indebted than as her ignorance and folly had contributed to his amusement. Next couple is Charlotte and Mr. Collins. Charlotte and Mr. Collins are the first to get married in the course of the novel. He was fortunate enough to get the living of Hunsford under the patronage of Lady Catherine. Having now a very good house and a very sufficient income, he intends to marry. He visits the Bennets to choose a wife among the Bennet girls. The first choice is naturally Jane, but a hint from Mrs. Bennet that that she is to be very soon engaged makes him shift immediately from Jane to Elizabeth. That love nowhere features in Mr. Collins' concept of matrimony is suggested by Jane Austen with a delightful stroke of irony. Next couple is Lydia and Wickham. The next to be married are Wickham and Lydia. They elope before they finally get married, and the marriage is a very complex affair. Compatibility and understanding are once again conspicuously absent. Lydia is captivated by the external glamour of Wickham's personality and the superficial finesse of his manners. She thinks she is passionately in love with him, but she is only infatuated with him. Wickham, having been involved in heavy gambling debts, is under great economic pressure. The elopement betrays Lydia's want of judgment and responsibility and Wickham's sensuality. When Mr. Darcy meets them in London, Lydia is very serious about her marriage, but Wickham, it is found, still cherishes the hope of marrying more advantageously in some foreign land and thus mending his fortunes. If he is ultimately persuaded to marry Lydia, it is only because he is unable to resist the temptation of immediate financial relief. And next couple is Jane and Bingley. Jane and Bingley are of course sincerely in love with each other. There also exists between them great emotional compatibility. By nature, both of them are sweet and gentle. Both of them are free from malice, ill will, pretentiousness, and duplicity. But above all, both of them are easygoing, unsusceptible, undemanding, and willing to forgive readily. And the last couple is Elizabeth and Darcy. Elizabeth marries last and marries most desirably. Mr. Collins is not a very attractive proposal, but it promises at least the comfort and security of an establishment. The reasons for which Charlotte accepts him are equally valid for her too. When Darcy makes his first proposal, he had no doubts of a favorable answer. In fact, his whole attitude is that he is offering price which no reasonable woman can possibly refuse. Elizabeth and Darcy begin with prejudice and gradually move towards understanding. Elizabeth helps Darcy to shed his pride and be really the gentleman that he thought he was. Thank you. This is all for today. See you again all tomorrow.